Yeah, then, gents, how we doing? So, by the way, another Diablo 4 video. This time around, we're going to be doing a Druid build. I've had a few people asking, what sort of Druid build I'm running. And it is basically a poison landslide build, but I'm using one unique. Yes, I'm using one unique. So, let's get into it. So, the unique I'm running is the Great Staff of the Crone. I absolutely love this. This weapon is brilliant. And I'm using Claw. I'm using Claw because, it's now a Storm Skill and also casts Storm Strike. So we'll have a look at the abilities first. So what you'd normally do if you are running Great Staff of the Crone, obviously you're going to be running Claw. The additional benefits from Crone Staff is really, really good. So what you want to do is you want to put 5 points into Staff of the Crone. Sorry, you want to put 5 points into Claw, follow it up by Enhanced Claw, and then Wild Claw. Put 1 point Storm Strike, because obviously the Crone Staff is going to cast Storm Strike on top. From there, you're going to come down, Landslide, all the way, 5 points, bang it straight in there. Follow it up by Enhanced Landslide, and then Primal Landslide. You're not really going to be casting a lot of Landslide yourself, because Trample creates landslides. From there, you want to come down, you want to grab Earthen Bulwark, Enhanced Earthen Bulwark, then Preserving Earthen Bulwark. So basically, Earthen Bulwark makes you unstoppable. Preserving, so casting Earthen Bulwark around 18% of life as fortify. You're going to be fortified quite a lot with this. From there, you want to come down. You want to grab Poison Creeper. Poison Creeper is your bread and butter of this build. I would put 1 point in there. Follow it up by Enhanced Poison Creeper. So it immobilizes. The duration is increased by 1 second. And then Ferocious Poison Creeper. So activating Poison Creeper. Active poisoning duration is increased by 3 seconds. You're going to be doing a lot of poison damage in this. Then come down, grab Trample, 1 point, Hands Trample, and then Savage Trample. You got them? None. The way I do this is I get the abilities first, then go for the passives. Then come down, grab Petrify, and Prime Petrify. I only put like 1 point Petrify. 1 point there, because this is your ultimate and then your prime. From there, you should have enough points at this time to come down and grab your Nature's Fury. A lot of people turn around to me and say, why don't I use Earthen Might instead for the lucky hit? I tend to find that Nature's Fury works better for me, for my play style. So that's why I take Nature's Fury. Then we're going to come up and grab some passives. So I have 1 point into Heart of the Wild for the increased spirit. 3 points into Wild Impulse so that your core skills do 9 times multiplicative damage. No? Yeah. So 9 times multiplicative spirit cost, but they deal 15 times increased damage. Normally, you'd take 1 point into Predatory Instinct and then 2 points into Iron Fur. I'm not having a lot of issues armor-wise, which is why I've only got 2 points into Predatory Instinct. The increase crit chance against close enemies, because basically Petrify is going to pull them in as long as you're using one of the hearts, and Poison Creeper is going to do a lot of damage. Then we're going to drop down. We're going to take Ancestral Fortitude, so non-physical resistances. Increases your non-physical resistances by 5%. You're then going to take Vigilance, so you gain 15% damage reduction for 6 seconds after using a defensive skill. You're going to be casting Earthen Bulwark a lot. The cooldown reduction is amazing. I absolutely love it. So you pop Earthen Bulwark, you pop your Poison Creeper. If there's anything still left knocking about, you pop your Trample. You've got your Earthen Bulwark back. Yeah, got it back. Same again. Miss out on these ones. We're going to come down to where the trample is, and we're going to take 3 points into Crushing Earth. So Earth skills deal 15% multiplicative increased damage to slowed, stunned, or immobilized or knocked back enemies. Your Petrify is basically going to stun them. Your Poison Creeper is going to make them vulnerable. This is really, really nice. You're then going to put 3 points into Safeguard for the increased crit strike with Earth skills. Skills fortify you. They also fortify you for 7% of your base health. 3 points into Stone Guard while you're fortified. For over 50% of your maximum health, your Earth skills deal 12% multiplicative increased damage. You are going to be fortified pretty much all the time. I'm going to drop down. We're going to put 1 rank into Neurotoxin. The poisoned enemies are slowed by 8%. Your Poison Creeper is going to poison them, hence Poison Creeper. So that means they're going to be slowed as well. You want 3 points into Envenom, so that your companion gains a 60%. It says they're additive. It's not. It's multiplicative. Bonus crit strike damage against poisoned enemies. So your poison, you're going to get your Poison Creeper back quite a lot as well. So as soon as you Poison Creeper, you're pretty much going to have it back instantly, so that you can cast it again. But what you are going to have to do is on your amulet, you are going to have to try and find ranks to Envenom, because this is a must for this build. Absolute must. Then we're going to come down. We're going to take 3 points into Defiance. So your Nature skill, Magic deal 12% multiplicative, increased damage to elites. A lot of the casts that we are doing are nature magic. You're going to take 3 points into Natural Disaster. So your Earth skills deal 12% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. Your Poison Creeper is going to make them vulnerable and just do more damage. And then your Storm skills are going to deal 12% increased damage to enemies that are stunned, immobilized. Pacify stuns them. So this is an absolute must as well. You can take 3 points into Renaissance. So your Nature Magic skills deal 6% multiplicative increased damage. Triple if the bonus, triple this bonus if an Earth skill is the next skill cast after a Storm skill. Because we're using Claw, it's because we're using the Great Staff of the Crone with Claw, the staff also casts Storm Strike. But this is going to proc quite a bit. You're then going to put 1 point into Circle of Life, because a lot of the things that we are casting is nature magic. So having that health regen constantly is very, very nice. And then you're going to come down, you're going to put 2 points into Defensive Posture. So it increases the amount of fortifying you gain from all sources by 10%. You're going to be fortified a lot. Like a lot. This is a very, very tanky build. I absolutely love it. I've had no issues with it. I am still trying to get the gear together. My gear is not amazing. It could be a lot better. Which hopefully with the new patch, with the 1.1.1 update, as soon as we start doing Nightmare Dungeons, with the mob density that they've added to them, we should be able to start getting this gear together. So let's have a look at the gear then. So what I'll do is I will go through the gear that I have at the minute, and then I also have a little sheet that I'm going to put up on screen that tells you exactly what you need for this build. So obviously aspects, I have Symbiotic on the helmet. You know, Nature's Fury key passive triggers a free skill. Your non-ultimate cooldowns of the opposite type are reduced by 5 seconds on this one that I have. And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Next aspect is Aspect of Might. I put this on the chest piece. So your basic skills grant 20% damage reduction. For my roll is 4.5 seconds. I'm constantly casting Claw, which also casts Storm Strike. So I'm getting that spirit back pretty quick. On the gauntlets, we have pretty much one of the bread and butters to this build, so Subterranean Aspect. You can get this from a dungeon really, really early. So yeah, your Poison Creeper also casts Landslide and circle around you, dealing 13% on my roll. Increase damage to enemies that are poisoned. So basically, when you cast Poison Creeper, it's going to grab them all, poison them, and then the Landslide that it casts also does increase crit chance. On the pants, obviously, Disobedience. Yep, Disobedience. The things you're wanting on this is quad damage reduction. The damage reduction while fortified, damage reduction from distant enemies, damage reduction from poisoned, and damage reduction from close. You need quad damage reduction on your pants. Again, Disobedience. So this is pretty much one of the max rolls I can get on this. So you gain 0.5% increased armor 4 seconds when you deal any form of damage, stacking up to 30%. So Disobedience on your pants, amazing. On the boots, we have Ballistic. So while you fortified your earth skills, gain 2+2 ranks. I think this is a must, because a lot of the things that we cast, well, especially a couple of things, are earth skills. So more ranks to earth skills, more crit, more damage, more everything. So, but yeah, again, spirit cost reduction, movement speed, damage reduction while injured. Like I said, I will put a little sheet up on the screen in a minute. Obviously, our unique that we are running is the Great Staff of Crone. So basically, this has got, you know, everything that you need, plus the ranks to Claw. So Claw is now a Storm skill and also casts Storm Strike, which is why we've got the 1 point into Storm Strike. Even though it's not on the hotbar, it does still cast it. Right, jewelry. So amulets. I have trampled earth on my amulet, and I've had this amulet for quite some time now. As you can see, it's only 708. But it's the only one I've had so far that has got +3 ranks to Envenom. You need Envenom on your amulet for this build to work properly. Obviously, we've imprinted Trample on here. So Trample now summons 6 Landslide Pillars of each of Earth during its duration that deal 113% normal damage. Trample is now also a nature magic and earth skill. So again, earth skills. My jewelry is not amazing. I mean, we have retaliation on one piece. It's okay. I mean, crit strike chance, crit strike damage, lucky hit. I would prefer the physical damage to be vulnerable, but again, jewelry farming in this game can be quite a bit of a nightmare. But I'm sticking with this for the time being. Obviously, we've got retaliation. So your core skills deal up to 20% multiplicative increased damage based on the amount of fortify. And you are constantly going to be fortified with this. One thing I have noticed. So that extra core skill damage is brilliant. And then on the second ring, you want the same again. Crit strike damage. Well, crit strike chance, crit strike damage, lucky hit chance, and then vulnerable. So you want your rings to pretty much be the same. On this one, we have Aftershock. So landslides, earth pillars, each strike a second time, and deal an additional 12% bonus damage per hit. So when you cast landslide, it's going to set off once, but then it's going to set off a second time. So you can understand why, you know, the build is getting to where it is. Obviously, the hearts, we are using the Devious Heart, which pulls enemies in. So every time we cast Petrify, it'll pull that mob in, which I think this heart is amazing for the Druid, because the Druid never really had a way to pull stuff in. Whereas like the Necromancer, you know, you've got Corpse Tendril and everything like that, you know, Sorcerers, you've got Hydra. So yeah, I absolutely love this one. I could do with a better one, because obviously the max is 50 miles at 43, but I'm not going to complain about it. On the second ring, we have, is it this one? Yep. So on the second ring, we have we have a Brutal Heart. I don't know why that keeps flashing. Yeah, we've got a Brutal Heart that basically suppresses 18.5% of the damage, and every time you cast Fortify or a defensive skill, it explodes. The explosion's not amazing, but it's extra damage, so we'll take it. And then on the second ring, obviously, we're running Barber. You know, I think 3 seconds is a little bit too long. I could do with a new one. But Barber on any build, on any class, this especially Season 1, is absolutely awesome. It'll be a shame to see it go. But I am going to be looking at other builds that don't include Barber. Because it's going to be one of them. It's like you go all the way through the season using Barber. You then get into Season 2 and there's no Barber. What are you going to do? I'd rather put another build together that doesn't incorporate Barber. But again, if you've got one, you want to be looking for around about 2 to 2.5 seconds. And I think you'll be at the sweet spot around there. I think 3 seconds is a little bit too long. So you're looking between 2 and 2.5 seconds. Right, let's have a look at the Paragon board. Obviously, we do not have... I'm still working through the ranks. Yep, still working through the ranks. You know, I'm only like level 76. So, we do still need a lot of points to get this. I mean, I'm only on my 3rd board. But obviously, you're going to start off on your 1st board. Come up over to the right. Grab the Rare Node Prime. Extra damage plus maximum life. If you meet the requirements as well, it's an extra 10% damage if the requirements are met, which we are. I'm then going to go straight up and grab the first glyph, which is Exploit. If you are running Nightmare Dungeons, you want to try and max this one out as quick as you can, because, I mean, the extra vulnerable damage it's awesome, it's amazing. From there, I actually went back down, grabbed these dexterity nodes, plus this one because it's more vulnerable damage, and then went back on myself and grabbed tenacity. So maximum life plus armor. It is going to be quite a tanky build, especially when you get up to, like, you know, once you get max level 100 and you got all the points, this build is going to be absolutely crazy. And then onto the second board. Well, actually, we're going to come back up from the glyph. I'm going to grab Impel, which is more damage, more willpower. If you meet the second mark, you know, it's an extra 10% damage on top. But then I'm going to come up, and then we are going to grab Heightened Malice board. Where is my board? Yep, you're going to come up and you're going to grab Heightened Malice. Now, what I did here, because obviously the glyph is it's right at the top. So what I did was I started off here. I went over to the right, grabbed the poison resilience. So poison resistance plus maximum life. If you meet the criteria for the second perk, it's an extra 12% poison resistance if met. If you are running stuff like Sarat's Lair, you'll know yourself that the poison damage inside of that is ridiculously strong. And since the update of 1.1.1, and they've increased the mob density, Sarat's Lair is still going to be good. It is still going to be very, very good. But the poison damage from the extra adds that are in there are going to be awful. Absolutely awful. So any poison resilience we can get, bonus. Obviously, make sure to pick up the magic notes to the maximum life, dexterity, and then we're going to come down and grab Heightened Malice. So while there are 3 or more poisoned enemies around you, you deal 45% multiplicative increased damage. Well, as soon as you cast Poison Creeper, they're all poisoned. You get your Poison Creeper back again, you cast it again, 45% increased damage. We're then going to come back over, we're going to go up here, we're going to make sure we grab Overturn, because that's damage to poison enemies and damage to elites. Second criteria, additional 10% damage to poison enemies. You should have this around about 50, 55. But get this as soon as you can. We're then going to come up, grab all these nodes here, grab the dexterity, going to and then we're going to come to about here. And then what we're going to do here is we're actually going to make us way up, and we're going to go straight for the glyph. So this one is Spirit. So increase critical strike damage. For every 5 dexterity within range, you deal 2% increase crit strike damage. This one is not upgraded yet. I've still been trying to upgrade my exploit glyph. So not quite upgraded yet. But once you've got this, you want to come back over and you want to grab Nature's Born. So damage reduction from enemies that are poisoned. You're going to be doing a lot of poison damage. So damage reduction is always nice. Plus the willpower. And if you meet the second criteria, it's another 4% damage reduction from enemies that are poisoned. Once you've got that, you're going to come back up. And then you're going to come up and over and grab Sinking Fangs. The damage to poison enemies plus willpower. Again, second criteria. If you meet it, it's an additional 10% damage to poison enemies. From here, you're going to grab this dexterity node, and then this node, magic node, which is increased damage to poison enemies. You're going to come back here. Then you want to go over to the right, grabbing all these intelligence and dexterities, willpower, intelligence. And then here. There you want to stop. Because what you want to do now, you want to come back down to here. You want to come across to the left. Grabbing the willpower, the intelligence, and this willpower here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to your third board, which is Earthen Devastation. So as soon as you start this board, you're going to have to rotate it, because it'll be the wrong way around. You want to come over to the left, then down. And then over to the left 1. And then you want to come down and grab Oppress. For damage to crowd-controlled enemies. So if you petrify, you're crowd-controlling. If you poison creeper, you're crowd-controlling. Extra damage is always nice. And then you're going to get an extra on the secondary mark is an extra 15% damage to crowd-controlled enemies if it's met, which we are. From here, you want to go up and you want to go straight over to the glyph. Straight over to the left of the glyph. This one's going to be Undaunted. Yep. So damage while fortified. Again, this glyph is not upgraded. I still need to do more Nightmare Dungeon to get this done. But again, damage while fortified. You are constantly going to be fortified. So you might as well take it. Once you've got the glyph, you want to come back and you want to come down and grab these 3 nodes here. So 5 intelligence plus damage while fortified. 5 intelligence, damage while fortified, 5 intelligence. Once you've done that, you want to come up. You want to grab Earthen Power, which is crit strikes with earth skills. A lot of the things that we are casting are earth skills. If you meet the secondary requirement, you get an extra 15% damage with earth skills. Once you've got this node, and take this one, intelligence, this one, and then you want to come down, over 1, and then down 1. So you can get this damage while fortified. See where we're going with this? You're fortified a lot. So you want to build into that. From there, you want to go up, and then over to the right, then down, then grab Urban Devastation. So your earth skills deal 30% multiplicative increased damage to enemies affected by crowd control. Petrify, crowd controls. Poison Creeper, crowd controls. Even yeah, so them 2 crowd control. You're going to be crowd controlling a lot. Now what you want to do for me is obviously once I get this board a bit further up, I'll then update this video so that you can see where I've gone from there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because obviously there's 2 builds you can do to this. One of them is with the Great Staff of the Crone, and the other one is with a 2-handed axe. The 2-handed axe is always nice because it's got the obviously damage to healthy. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description below. There'll be 2 of them. One of them will be this build with the Great Staff of the Crone. Second one will be a build without the Crone, so you can get a general understanding of what you want to do. If you have the Crone, use it. If you don't use it. So if you don't have the Staff of the Crone, what you're going to do is you are going to take obviously these points here, yeah, And then you're going to put 1 point into Enhanced Storm Strike, 1 point into Fierce and Storm Strike, and then a couple of points into Iron Fur. So you can take these points here. So 3 points, so you put 1, 2, and then 1 point into Iron Fur. If you do have Crone, you're going to build it like this. If you don't have Crone, what you do, take these 3 points, put 1 there, 1 there, and then 1 into Iron Fur. And that's it, you're laughing. So like I say, I will leave 2 links in the description. Now, I'll both name them, so one's with Crone, one's without Crone. I'll leave them in the links in the description below. But as usual, like I say, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining in. By all means, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment below.